This segment of the 16th Annual Gotham Awards is sponsored by Universal Pictures and by HBO.
Welcome back to the 16th Annual Gotham Awards. Now the next tribute goes to Ed Norton, who will start in 3 independent films this year alone. What does it mean to you to be honored by the IFP?
I think even though the lines have blurred on what constitutes an independent film these days, I think that what they're celebrating is a sensibility of filmmakers working from sort of their creative, strange personal motivations and not sort of fulfilling a commercial objective in a way. And I like that. I think it's good to celebrate that kind of work.
And who more to present the award to Ed Norton than John Curran, the director of The Painted Veil.
I'm here to present tonight's second Gotham Awards tribute to Edward Norton. There's not a lot I can say about Edward that he won't be happy to say himself. Edward to me is like he's like a real life action figure. He crams a lot more into a day in a life than most people. As a director, you really couldn't ask for anybody that would hang in there in the trenches with you to the degree that Edward does. And I think, a big part of him is that his real art is his life, and I think that acting for him is just the most convenient kind of outlet for him to channel this unbelievable amount of interests and experiences and philosophies that he comes across. Some clips I think we're going to see.
I'll show you one I'm very fond of. Are you a gambling man?
On occasion, yes.
I will bet you the secret of the orange tree that I can guess which hand you place this in every time.
What the hell are you doing?
That hurt.
I'm sorry, did you say no?
I will not allow them into evidence that are irrelevant to this case.
But they are not irrelevant. They are not irrelevant. They very clearly demonstrate the community standard, which is laid out...
No, Counselor. The jury is representative of community standards, not a pile of magazines. I won't admit them.
You won't admit them. You dirty little beast. You want me to cut it off? Is that what you want me to do, you little freak? You want me to cut it off? Do you? Don't cry at me, you little Apologize. Say I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm a dirty little beast. I'm a freak. Say it.
No.
Say it!
I said get your hands up! Now turn around! Put your hands behind your head! Get down on your knees right now!
Sort of a client attorney privilege type of a secret, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It don't matter who you hear it from. It's the same story. I just had to kill Linda, Mr. Vale. That just got what she deserved. But cutting up that son of a Rushman, that was just a work of art.
Again, please?
2 blocks on the corner, 2 blocks this way, 1 block that way to the left. And you're right there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
What? What'd you say?
I said thank you, Nick. I'm Max's guy in the customs house.
You better talk to me, mister, because I am here. And I ain't nobody. I am a person. And I ain't blowing out of here just because one son of a don't like me. Okay?
Okay.
I know I ain't important, but I know how to stand my ground. For love.
Sex?
Yes.
Yes.
With women.
Yes.
So you're not gay?
Oh, no.
Are you sure?
Yes, but even if I was, the rules are the same.
When I think about how hard I've tried to make you happy, debasing myself, acting as though I was as thrilled as you by the latest gossip and as vulgar and as ignorant of the world as you are. If you interrupt me again, I'll strangle you. Sit down. I knew when I married you that you were selfish and spoiled. But I loved you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present this Gotham Tribute Award to a very good friend and brother, Edward Norton.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the IFP for this lovely compliment. A couple years ago, when Peter Biskind was writing his book about filmmaking in the 90s, he called me, and he said, I'm working on this book, and I really need to talk to you. And I said, why? And he said, well, because you've been in so many of the kind of seminal independent films. And I said, which ones? And he said, well, American History X and Larry Flint and Fight Club and these kind of movies. And I said, unfortunately, those are big studio films that just didn't make very much money. Which is, I'm sad to report, not the same thing. And but he quoted me a lot in the book nonetheless, and so I felt like for a while I had kind of a borrowed indie cred that I didn't really deserve. And it inspired me to get involved in a few independent films, which in the last year and a half I did for the first time. And I think that you learn some very interesting things working on films with, let's say, constrained parameters. I think that the constraints of money force you to be disciplined, and constraints of time force you to be creative, and the battles that you wage to hold on to the strange or personal or uncommercial vision that you accepted these parameters in the first place to try to realize tends to create a kind of camaraderie that's very special, a bond of collaboration that goes beyond, I think, just the normal pleasure of working with other people, and all of these added constraints and struggles that you have to go through to make a film without the cushion of the support you get in the studio system. It's a very vital way to work, is the best way I can put it. The thing that in some sense you're missing becomes the thing that actually makes the experience feel extremely artistic and reminds you why you are actually doing this. And so this year for me, working on Down in the Valley and The Illusionist and The Painted Veil, was as good a year as I've ever had working in films. I collaborated with people like John, and it was just a pure pleasure, and it makes all the things that you tell yourself you're giving up when you get into it seem hard to remember what it was, why you wanted them in the first place. So thank you for this compliment, and thank you to the bold and brave people and companies that did back those films, Element and the Ari Company and Warner Independent. We could not have done it without you, and it was thrilling. So thank you very much for this compliment.
Up next, the best film not playing at a theater near you.
Variety congratulates Edward Norton on his Gotham Tribute Award.